The Property Hot Seat.
Stray FM.
Name.
Val Evans.
Business.
Evans International Limited.
Years experience.
12 years.
Great to have Val here in the studio with me, and just to get a real insight and feel for the home removers business sector. Val, just sort of kicking things off, I mean, a lot of removals, it's a very stressful time. What are you actually doing that's different? There's a lot of removers out there, but how do you set yourself apart?
Yeah, well, here at Evans International, we actually pride ourselves right from the very first call that we make to you on the pre-move survey is to make sure that we're looking after your needs as the person who we are moving. We move people every single day, so therefore the mechanics of the move to us are simple and straightforward. But what I like to pride myself in is to actually take care of you, the person who is moving house, because your needs can be very different to the person that we moved yesterday or the person that we're moving tomorrow. So
in terms of if it's an elderly couple or indeed, I don't know, a young family, I guess you will be a bit of a chameleon and react accordingly.
Yes, we certainly do. We find that we get quite a lot of recommendations for families who now live quite away from their elderly parents, and if a significant person dies or they have to move into a care home, then often the family could be either abroad or at the other end of the country, so they like to feel that there is somebody close to the family that can actually help that person and be there for that person to help them move house and look after their personal needs. We automatically look after moving the effects, but what we also have to deal with is the emotions and the stresses and strains that that person's going through, and that's where I feel as a lady in the industry I can actually really come into my own.
It's a very valid point, Val, because being a lady in the removals sector must be incredibly rare. I mean, dare I say, how many have you come across ladies within the industry?
Yes, we are quite a rare breed, and especially a lady like myself who prides herself in being able to do all aspects of what happens within a removal. My philosophy in business has always been I will never ask somebody to do something that either I can't or won't do myself.
So it's a woman's touch, which is unusual, very unusual in that business.
It is.
And what do when people come to sell, what do they really need to be aware of when you're looking for quotes from a removal company? It's very easy, especially on the estate agency side, you can get easily hoodwinked into sort of going one way or another. Are there things that people should look out for when they're getting removal companies out for the first time?
Yes, certainly. I think one of the most important things that you need to do when you are getting a quote from a removal company, and this can start right at the first visit, the pre-move survey, when a member of the removal company will come out and visit your home and run through with you what it is that there is to move. That's an important part because we need to assess the number of staff and the size of vehicles and also the service that you require from us. And I think the most important part for you as the customer is you need to be comfortable with the person that is in your house. You need to have faith that what that person is telling you is that they are going to look after you and look after your possessions in a manner in which you want it doing.
Because how does it work? Because it's not necessarily just a case of pick up all the goods and throw them in a box or give them over to Alex and I pack it myself. What are the ins and outs, and what do you sort of offer?
Well, as a removal company, and especially Evans International, we can offer anything from just providing you with all of the packing materials and you do your own packing. There's a very popular packing service which is what we call a fragile only packing service. That means that you pack anything that is not breakable and we come in and pack everything that is. Or the one that I would always promote, because it is the one that takes the strain completely and utterly off the customer, is just let us come in and do it all. It will take us maybe a day or 2 days to pack all of your goods, whereas it'll take you weeks.
What are your top tips when you come to move home and sort of getting the removals lined up? Is there anything that you'd advise people to do in advance or to be aware of?
At the end of the day, we need to remember that actually moving house can be a very, very stressful time, but it is also one of the rare things in life that has to be done on that day. There is no movement. If you're moving on that day, and everything else has to fall into place. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we're ready. Because if you have packed yourself, then basically that's what you need to have done. You need to make sure that all your things are boxed up nicely and are presentable and ready for the removers when they come in. If we do the packing service, then of course we will naturally do that, and we'll make sure that we are clear of the house in time for the other removal to be able to come in and unload the truck that's waiting outside. And you need to talk to the person that's doing the pre-move survey and ask them at what level they are insured at, because we all have different levels of insurance.
Yeah.
Also, you need to make sure that there is things in place when accidents do happen, because there's no removal company around that can ever say that they've done something and they've never damaged a piece of furniture or something hasn't gone wrong, because accidents do happen.
They do.
It's
the way it goes.
It is, unfortunately. So what we like to do is we need to make sure that we basically correct that, and we can either do it by repairing, if it's just a polished surface that has got a scratch mark on it, then basically we can get that polished out, or we can replace, or just do whatever needs to be done.
Got you. And how we're moving on to, so I suppose, the more international side of things, which obviously the clue's in the name, as they say, with Evans International. But how does that actually work in terms of logistics and shipping if I'm going to move, say, to, I don't know, Australia or Europe? How on earth do you actually bring all of those different threads together?
Well, it's very different moving to Europe. Well, it is at the moment. Yeah, the jury's out on that one. But anyway, so we'll move swiftly on. So within Europe, as it would be today, then basically it would be our vehicle and our staff that prepare all of your furniture and move you to Europe. So within Europe, that actually stays in-house. If you're moving to Australia, as much as I would like to be that constant or consistent person,
you might have a holiday. Yeah.
Then unfortunately, one, I don't want to travel in the shipping container all the way to Australia. But what we would do is we then work with a reputable shipping company, and because we've been in business now for quite some time, 12 years, then we know who we like to work with. So we work with a shipping company and we prepare all the goods for shipment in the UK. We then engage with the container, and then the shipping company then takes over and appoints a reputable removal company at the point of destination, and they take over from there.
Val, been really interesting indeed. Thank you very much. If people want to sort of reach you and talk it through and all their issues with regard to moving, what are the best way to get hold of you?
The best way to get hold of me is to just pick up the phone, because I am one of those people where I prefer to talk to you face to face than through emails. So whatever you do, just pick up that phone and call me on 01765 640 882 and ask to speak to Val.
Fantastic. Val, thank you very much indeed.